Hey, what's up? Hey, live from
What
Swamp,
up?
where fake fools get mopped.
Chill out.
Where fake fools don't make it.
They
Hey, we don't
fake it.
fake it, we think it. What's up,
What's
my
Gotta
up,
boy?
fake
my
it till you
man?
make it, homie.
Fake it till you make. A lot of people do that shit.
Yeah, fake ass fools, huh?
What's up,
Oh,
dog?
not at the swamp.
Good evening,
Good
doggy.
evening, carnalito.
Good evening, locos.
Oh, dog.
Carnalito de Aslan.
Good evening to the producer, Cayman.
Come on, what's
Good
good?
Hello.
evening. I'm chilling.
¿Cómo
I'm
andas?
I'm just looking at this fool's hat. What the hell does it say? EV? Electric
Yeah,
vehicle? What
electric
is it?
vehicle, dude.
Yeah?
Nah. This is from that
Electric vehicle. Pinche vato Tesla.
See, wey. El homie Tesla in the house tonight,
Oh,
locos.
like homie in the car earlier. Do you remember that shit?
Hey, Chiles, your hat? Dope.
Yeah.
Representing.
Uh, I'm not from the hood, but
I am from the
Well,
hood.
damn, I'm from the hood. Dog. What
pretty
am I to
much.
tell you, homie? I can't be from
Yeah.
Camarillo, dog. I can't be from the north side. Some fools, fake ass was rolling up to the north side.
Fuck, the fake ass was damn. It's like shots fired. Nah.
Nah, but anyways, what's up,
You're a
dog?
fool,
It's all
dude.
good.
Yeah, everything's good. I'm
Before
good. I'm
everything,
happy.
first things first. Happy birthday to my son, Diego.
Happy birthday to your
Oh.
son.
He's a
Yeah.
good
Diego,
boy.
happy birthday.
Right now, he just
Yep.
on my way over here. I got his report card, straight A's, dog.
That's right.
Straight
dope.
A's.
That's right. That's the yep.
Straight A's. What can I say?
That's good.
Proud of you,
stuff.
boy.
Yep.
Right now, he has the Infinity Gauntlet, dog. He collected all the stones just like his papa told him.
Oh shit, there you
Put
go.
them together. What's up, dog? Let's roll.
That's right.
Let's get that money, yo. There's a lot of money out there. We gotta go get it. Just like
Yup.
Muddy Mike said. Anyways, what's
Yup.
up, babe?
So
Right.
All
I want to
good?
give a shout out to Mr. Electric Vehicle over here.
Get on, perro loco.
Salud,
He was
yeah.
having an issue. He made it.
Yep. You know, speaking of father, this guy's talking about
Yeah,
his son.
since we're
and
talking about
then-
fatherhood.
Yeah, my daughter. Well, it's like she came back from school. Supposedly something hurt her or something. I don't know. So she's crying, but now we're good.
Hey, you know what hood is the most important hood?
Fatherhood.
Fatherhood. What's up?
Hell
What you
yeah.
talking about? We're all
Yeah,
father here. We're all part of the
dog.
Bareback Boys Club.
Yeah.
One, two, three.
Guaranteed.
Bareback Boys are back. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah,
What's
that's like
that?
next level. That's next level, dude. The fatherhood, like I know it's super cringe, and you'll hear people talk about it when you didn't have kids. You're like, those fools cringe. But nah, dude, that's next level. Dude, it's like you're creating, you become like godlike. You know what I mean? It's because you become like in his image, and then you create another being, and it's man, dude, next level, dude.
You know what's crazy, dog? I was raised in the church, homie, in two churches. I was raised in the Catholic church, and I was raised at the Christian church, Baptist church. And Wednesdays we'd go to Baptist church for like 3 hours, and then Sunday I would go to Catholic church for 1 hour. So as a kid, I was like, I'd rather go to Catholic church. You're in and out, homie. I'm
Smart.
back.
It's
I'm
lit.
back. I'm
It's
back.
lit.
I mean, I get back home to watch Ren and Stimpy right on time, dog, and it was all good. And it was right there on Cooper. To go to the Christian church, I had to go all the way over there by Squires Drive. But chip
What
out.
happened?
Catholic Church is fake.
But
fool.
you
I
know,
don't like it.
I mean, no disrespect to him. Look I'm gonna tell you something. I go to Catholic church right now, but I'm not Catholic. But I do like the camaraderie that exists with the people, because you show up on Sunday morning and everybody shows up with hope for something. They're hoping for a good day. They're gonna go pray for somebody that's in need, maybe praying for blessings or praying to thank for the blessings they do have. So I have no beef with Catholic Church. I have no beef with Mormons. I have no beef with Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't have no beef with Pentecostal Christians, Baptist Christians, and so on and so on. But what I'm trying to get at is that
Hey, what
You
about
know-
those? Oh, sorry.
we think of John 3:16, right? And you know what that says. I know what I know the verse by heart.
Can you tell us?
So God loves the world so much that he gave his only son, so all those that believe in him will be forgiven. I never understood that love until I had my boy. When I had my son, and I found out how much I'm capable of loving somebody else, besides my wife, but somebody that actually, because me and my wife are not related, blood related at least. I mean, now we're one because
One
of marriage
flesh.
and this, one flesh. But now we're like on another level. We become
Yeah, that's real.
intracellularly, united. We'd have to break down into sciences, which
Damn, perro, got the
I've-
scientist up in here.
I've done a lot of research into it, and you do become one flesh. You do. It's crazy. You might. How come you don't even have the same blood?
Hey,
But the thing is
hey,
that
hey, here's a real question though. Do you know the definition of your lady's name though? Shout out.
I know what's up. I know what you're talking about, and I do. I do.
Just asking.
But anyways,
keep going. Keep going.
So you know,
Molly, make a poem out of my name.
I'm working.
that's
on
an
it.
inside joke. We'll talk about
Yeah,
it. We'll
yeah.
talk about it when our
On
episode
another
on
day, yeah.
our episode on
Another
partying
episode.
at Gumby's house.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, so
Hey,
get
so-
come
back.
back.
So anyway, so you know John 3:16. You know the Lord. You know the I am. If you know what I mean, the I am, because we're not even allowed to say the Lord's name.
Hey, what about that shine line? Hey, the Lord's my shepherd. Let's get this coke measured.
That's
Remember
some, that's
that
some
shit?
deep stuff. I was listening to. Hey, I heard
On a
a,
separate note.
I heard him today on an interview with It Is What It Is, Cameron and Mace. I like that show. Those fools got good chemistry. Anyways, yeah, it was a really good interview. He talked about all that Diddy stuff and
So going back to like fatherhood, right now you're going deep, dog. But
well, let me
that's
finish.
that's how you. Okay, sorry. go
Well, let
ahead.
me finish. And this is real powerful, dog, because I met Jesus in a Catholic church when I was about 5, right there on Cooper Road. I met him right there and then. I didn't know. I just believed. And he spoke to me. And he's been with me since. But when I had my son, then John 3:16 made sense to me. Like, oh my gosh, I understand now. You loved us so much that you're willing to sacrifice your blood for us to be saved. That's another type of love. Some love, put it this way. I'm gonna make an example because I'm gonna throw dirt where I want to throw dirt. Let's say you tell me, Daniel, the entire East Side Little League board of directors is gonna die
Not again.
right now if you don't sacrifice your son to save them. What do you think I'm gonna say, dog? What do you think I'm gonna say? Chales, que se mueran, way. My son is my priority.
But what does that have to do with this?
It has to do with the I am sacrificing Jesus to save you, me, and all those people around us. That's why we're saved through, our faith in Jesus Christ, because we believe in him. And that was the whole purpose of the sacrificial lamb, right? So that's fatherhood, the ultimate fatherhood, that he loved us so much that he sacrificed his son. Would you sacrifice Machu to save somebody that's persecuting you?
No.
Would you sacrifice your daughter to save somebody that's persecuting you? Obviously
on,
not.
dog.
Come
But,
on,
Come
dog.
on,
but then again,
So that's a different
It
type of
depends
fatherhood.
how much you believe. That's the thing.
I mean,
So
See,
okay. So it sounds like we're talking about fatherhood, and you went on the next level,
Yeah, I know.
next level tangent. But that's how you view it. If you,
well, I didn't understand.
Growing-
That's what I'm saying. I didn't understand
growing
that
up-
whole concept until I became a father. And you're like, damn, I would not give up my son's life. As a matter of fact, I would give up my life for my son. Most people say, oh yeah, I'll give up my life for my son.
yeah, but you see them, they had to sacrifice. It's different than us. Him, it
Look
was
at
so
I
much.
understand it's a complex it's a complex
Yeah.
subject right there, the sacrifice of our Lord and Savior to save all of us by his father. But I'm just trying to point out that when I became a father, I understood that concept more. And it hurts to say I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot sacrifice my child to save people that are persecuting me. I can't. But I try to be the best father as I can possibly be. Am I perfect? I am not perfect. But I do have the ability to be a better father.
So you're telling me that by
Tomorrow
him
and the day
sacrificing
after.
him, he's a bad father?
He loved us so much that he did it. But he resurrected. So
yeah,
don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
Right now he's alive and he's sitting on the right hand of the Father.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're good to go, dog. I'm just trying to point out that when I became a father, I understood that passage. Maybe not to his maximum capacity of like understanding celestial things, but it made more sense to me.
you're going deeper right now, dog. This whole conversation is deep as AF.
Did you wake up? Wake up, my boy.
Nah, dog.
It's St. Patrick's
Yeah,
Day.
wake up.
St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Jump around. Jump up, and get down.
Today, earlier, since you say St. Patrick's Day, I went with Kid 7 to
Kid 7.
Órale.
a little place, the little cave somewhere. We were playing pool, had some beers. That was cool.
Nice.
What's up with that?
Must be
fool?
But
nice.
something light, no, nothing crazy.
Must
fool,
be
'cause,
nice for a Tuesday.
Who's wearing green? You guys are not wearing
I,
green?
Nah.
I screwed up.
You know,
I didn't get the
You want to
memo.
know why I'm not wearing green? Because today is the 17th, homie, and I have it right here. Look.
Oh,
Por
it
eso
is,
pasa, yeah.
What are the odds of that,
Yeah.
dude? What are
I'm
the
wearing
odds of
Snoopy.
that?
Get on, Snoopy. And Woodstock, mira, si quieren. That's me and that's my son, mira, nos queremos.
Yeah, like going back to fatherhood, dude. You went like next level, dude. So that's how you perceive it, dude. About
I had to kick it off some way, somehow, right?
What about like other like in the hood? You see like
Mandé indirectas. I threw rocks.
Luego,
I don't
luego,
know. I
güey.
don't know. Okay.
Anyways, go ahead, my boy. Go ahead.
I don't even
Break it
know.
down. What's up with you and fatherhood, dog? Tell me.
It's great. It's
What's up with
fantastic.
fatherhood in the hood, dog? How
Fatherhood in
was
the hood,
fatherhood in the
man.
hood?
It was good, man. You know, well, from my experience, I'm like 3 years deep. You know, so it's like you're just handling business, dude. Like the bare minimum, dude, is like it wasn't common back then. I don't even know, dude. When I would see other families, dude, I would see like full generations of grandparents and parents, and they're all from the hood, not giving a fuck, dude.
Oh yeah, I seen that a lot.
Or I would see like kids unattended and shit, no father in sight. So I saw like different levels, from the worst to the best. But in general, dude, like fatherhood in the hood, dude, like our parents, dude, I remember when they went to work, I didn't question anything, dude. What they gave us to eat, like we're giving kids choices nowadays, dude.
Si te quejabas, te madreaban, güey.
Dude,
Y
it's like,
hey, they will make you eat,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, dude, it's like now it's completely for me at least. I'm just
No,
more
yeah, no,
conscious. I'm more conscious
that's
of
how
it.
it is.
Yeah, yeah. I remember growing up and my jefe, my first experience of fatherhood was with my own father and the way he raised me. You know, if you know my family, I'm way different than my brother is. And my brother, I mean, he's 4 years younger than me. But those 4 years by myself, like my dad, he instilled things in me that were passed down from his father,
Yeah, it
from previous
happens.
generations. I know.
It happens,
Remember
dude.
I sent you about the bloodline of my family coming from Moroleón,
That's
Guanajuato.
documented. Yeah.
My
Heck?
when I tell you that I come from a bloodline of hustlers.
Yep.
I mean, it's not that I'm trying to brag because I'm not. I'm not gonna brag about anything besides being, trying to be a good father, a good husband. But I showed you the bloodline of what I found, and it
All from
confirmed.
all from fucking
It,
social media and shit.
well, people nowadays have time on their hands, and
They just post everything like genealogy and shit like that,
stuff
right?
like that. That was taken from a Facebook group
Well,
from where we're from.
you could trace it back because your pops and all this. Like me too, I could trace it back. I've been wanting to do one of those fuck it, I don't give a shit. A DNA
Don't
fucking.
do it, homie, because then the Illuminati's gonna get
What are they gonna get
your
out
blood,
of
homie.
me?
They're gonna put it in AI. They're
Fuck
gonna
it,
come
who
and get you,
cares,
homie. Don't
dude?
do it.
Who
Don't do
cares?
it.
Nobody cares.
Don't do it. Die Illuminati. Shout out to Eddie Boy. Don't do it, fool. Don't do it.
No, but outside of that, dude, going back to
Just go to Sacapo and ask around, fool. Man,
yeah, dude,
hijo
because
de
my grandfather was
Sacapo.
my grandpa was born in Chicago, dude.
Oh, get on, hey, little Chicago.
Oh,
Oh,
so then he ended up going to Mex, and then my parents met in Mex, and so it's like all over the place. I don't even know where the
You
hell
don't even know
everybody's
who you
from.
are, huh?
I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm planning on
I
from.
know who
Who's
you
that
are.
Pokemon?
él es del ingeniero de la gente,
¿Tú crees tú?
el ingeniero del
¿Quién es ese
barrio.
pinche Pokémon?
Gotta
Algo
catch
así.
'em, Mogimon.
Pokemon.
Get him,
That's a
get
good
him,
one.
homie. Homie, I'm gonna grab him, have a little bolita, I'm gonna roll it
Mogimon.
out. Y va a salir Mogi con un pisto. What's that? Brew it.
I used to work with some guys, and I used to call them like that because they used to sleep in the truck. Dog, we'll be over here spraying full fucking trees and shit. Like, what a fucking lazy man.
Hey, that's one thing that I can't get along with lazy people, homie.
Where they,
I cannot get along with lazy people.
they're everywhere though, dude.
And that's the
How
thing.
the fuck? We were built that way, dude. Our parents, our dads, dude. I remember my dad working hard, dude. And I saw that shit. He cortaba apio, fucking working on cars forever, dude. So in my head, I already knew what a patriarch was supposed to look, right?
Shit.
And apparently, that relationship with him and his dad is kind of similar to what we have, you know.
Yup.
His dad worked in a fragua, in one of those, where they have the anvil and shit like that.
Yeah, like a blacksmith.
And then a blacksmith. He was a blacksmith. And then one time I was over there in fucking Villamorelos over there in Mex. And I was in one of the houses they had from a long time ago. And I ran into like in a pile, dude. I found a fucking key, dude. One of those old timey keys and shit, dude.
Oh, the big ones.
He made that
what
shit.
is that?
It
A
was like this
deadlock
big.
bolt key or something?
Yeah, one of those fucking tiene el ojito, the little ring over here. And then like, dude, I trip on that shit. And right now, me, like I'm like very similar to them. So it's like se pasa, dude. Con the patriarch se pasa, dude, because we're just trying to emulate what our fathers were, Conversely, now as parents, you know, I see my little child, even though she's a girl, like I see her, like they seek us, dude, and they're seeking that patriarch, dude. And that's
Yeah.
what fatherhood is, dude. In my opinion, I could
Okay.
be wrong though.
Hey, do you guys think that our talents, everything we know, probably comes from somebody in our family tree, like abuelo, bisabuelo, etc. Like
Now,
going back, and then maybe it just comes back to us at a different time.
Let me answer that because I have my answer for that, and it's a good one. You know, I'm talking about 4 years. It was me and my father, my mother, until my brother came along, and even when he was still a baby, carry another maybe 2, 3, where it's me and my father. And I remember my jefe, he was hard on me, dog. I remember he was super hard on me. And to this day, I thank my father for that because no soy un pinche idiota inútil, way. Even al jale que llego, I'm always fucking top. I mean, I don't want to, again, I don't want to brag, but you show up and people right says in the Bible, you're good at something, you'll stand before important men. Every jale I ever had, right away, they put me at the top. Why? Because my dad would tell me, like as a kid, agárralo con las dos manos, no seas pendejo.
Pinche
Eh,
mazapán,
yeah,
órale, güey.
yeah,
act right.
Yeah.
and you know, and right now
That should
I
help you
can
out.
attest that some people have told me, hey, maybe you're a little harsh with your son. And I told them, well, you know what? It's not as bad as my jefe was. So you got to kind of find that middle ground where you want to follow in those footsteps in the way you're raising your boy because you don't want your boy to be a fucking idiot. Homie, the people that I see, I mean, the kids, and
You
no
raise them-
disrespect to
you
my
don't
to the kids,
raise them
but
to
the
be
kids,
alphas,
the kids that
they're
I see
boys. Yeah.
that walk down the streets with their head in their phone and they cross the street like that with their head down, no mames, way. I cross the street with my head down, my dad will kick my ass. I don't want my boy to cross the street with his head in his phone. Yo, te pega un carro,
That's
güey, ya
crazy.
estuvo.
You
And,
know,
and
That's
that,
crazy. You
and
can't
let me
save the
tell
world,
you
though, dog. Gotta
that
remember
that directly comes from his father, and that directly comes from his father, and that directly comes from the other father. And we're talking about 4 generations
Cagar el
that I
palo.
know of fools que no son pendejos, güey. Gente que se ponía a trabajar when it was time to work. People that woke up early. I wake up at 4 in the morning. That's when my programa wakes up. That's when my programa starts. 4 in the morning. My wife will co-sign on that. 4 in the morning, I'm up, off to the gym. I work out, come back home, get the food ready, bam, bam, bam. All day I'm moving up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's something that my jefe instilled in me, which came from his jefe, and came from his jefe, came from his jefe. Talking about 4 or 5 generations, like you said, I mean, in the neighborhood there was 4 or 5 generations of gang
yeah,
banging. Well, over here I have 4 or 5 generations
yeah,
of
yeah.
fools
So
that,
it was a different type of
yeah,
discipline, right?
it was hardworking
They
men,
taught you something different.
hardworking men, alpha males, you want to call it. But then again, then you, as you get older, you realize the insecurities, the stuff that maybe don't sit right with you now
That's
as in my time, and that's my job as a father to see where those deficiencies were and fill those voids. So now now you have the ability and the skills that my father taught me, but I saw what was lacking in his fatherhood, and I'm able to make up for that
Improve on it.
with my fatherhood.
Improve on it.
You know?
Every generation.
For example, my heifer never told me he loved me. He didn't tell me he loved me till like last year.
Yeah, I
I
remember
was
you
out,
told me
I was
that.
outside, and Apple comes up to me and goes, "Son, I want to tell you something." I'm like, "Fuck, what I do?" Fool looks at me and goes, te amo. And he gave me a hug and he gave me a kiss.
Hey, but some parents are
Never
like that.
did that until last year.
That's a trip, because now you're a parent, and how many times have you told your son that you love him, right?
Shit,
I'm sure a shitload of times.
I do it every day, bro.
I tell him like 50
See,
times a day, I love you.
See,
I
me,
love you.
my dad never told me I love you
Yeah,
either. But
yeah.
I tell my son every day, man, I love you, I
Trip
love
on,
you, I
trip
love
on
you.
this, like I don't know how many, like over a decade ago, my jefe almost died. He got Guillain-Barré and shit. He got really fucking sick from a pneumonia and all this. And then I was like, he's gonna die. I'm like, oh shit, look at him, he's going. And then after that, our fucking our relationship just like went off the charts. It was amazing. And then so
That's probably why, because maybe if he has something or a little grudge at that moment, you realize the love you have for him.
yeah, because
You know what I mean? At that moment, seeing him like that probably open up something in you.
I was always cool with him, and then there was like a little whatever, broken family type stuff. And then like so I was like more reaching out to him, and then there was like moments where we didn't talk to each other. And then but like this time around we were cool, and then like all of a sudden, got really sick. And then that kind of like put me in perspective, because it put me in a place where I was saying goodbye to him, and then he made it. And then like, oh shit. And that made our bond stronger, because now we're like all grateful that we had each other. And that's another thing, dude. The crazy part is that, you know, is there's like ups and downs in life, dude. And part of the downs are like when like for example, like a great example, and I always talk about, and I always will, is my boy Javi. Remember when he lost his jefe?
Rest in peace. Yeah.
When he lost his jefe, dude, he was like fucking
Rest in
bro.
peace to Don Antonio too.
He needed him, dude. And now that I'm mentioning Antonio, he was a huge like when my parents broke up. I will go to homie's pad, dog, and then I found like the father figure with Antonio, dude.
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
know at the time, dude. I benefited from that family, dude. I spent so much time there, dude, and then I didn't realize it because I wasn't going like fucking gangbang. I was hanging out with Javi, dude. When in those years, and then that's when my parents broke up, and then like it was a trip, dude. Because now that I think about it, because we'll go places, right? And that was like it filled the void, dude, for me.
He never
Yeah.
pushed you away. He brought you in.
Yeah, I don't know. It was solid, dude.
With me too. I remember.
Solid.
I remember. Now that you mentioned el señor Don Antonio, rest in peace. Me acuerdo que I would go to his house and our homeboy wouldn't be there, but he would, and I'd sit down and we start drinking a beer.
Yeah, dude.
And next thing you know, we're
For
talking
real.
about everything. And I remember hearing the story that he drank with Jose Alfredo Jimenez in a cantina in León, Guanajuato. And I remember I used to love hearing that story. And you know me, I carry the little speaker. I'd always put on the music, and then Javi would get there. What's up, fool? What are you doing here? I'd be like, why did I come see you? I'm hanging out with your head. Fool, that was firme gente.
Yeah, that was
And
solid,
we'd be right there
dude.
talking, drinking, and he'd drink, and he loved Bohemia. I remember he loved Bohemia beer.
Yeah,
He
he
said it was
liked
the best one.
he liked like darker drinks, like
Yeah, he was
fucking
OG like
cognacs
that.
and shit.
He was OG like that, and he was a good senor. And that's another, we see the, what do you call it, the archetypes of fathers in the neighborhood. You had the OG veterano father, like brocha over here, big brocha. What's up, big brocha?
Respect your brocha.
Árale, homie, respect my brocha. But anyways, you had that archetype of the veterano father. Then you had the paisa dad. You had the
Yeah,
young
one of
galan
those.
dad. I know I had a few homies that their dad looked like freaking artistas de novela, bro. And you could tell que era mujeriego el vato, and he disappeared for weeks at a time. Where's your dad? Oh, he's somewhere out there.
Músico, un pinche músico.
Fue a ver otra familia que tenía México,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
this, and you
yeah.
had little different ideas of what a
Yeah.
father. Then obviously you had your own father. For example, my dad, El Chiles, the OG one, like I knew he was there. He never left us, and he was fun. But there was two sides to him. There was the fun side to him, and then there was the Alvarez side to him, which was, you know, when we'd be doing something, agárralo, cabrón, no seas pendejo.
Yep. Yep.
Oh shit, and he'll spook you. But that helped me. That helped me not to be like I said earlier, an inútil. And most people in our culture, they use that word kind of loosely. Oh, inútil, canalla. But then when you break down the word inútil, that means you're not utile.
That's
You know?
gacho.
No
That's
sirves para nada,
gacho.
way. And I know.
You know what? You know what my jefe does, dude? And whenever we're like working on a car and shit, and you know how you get all fucking flustered, or you like get stuck somewhere, he's like, "Oh no, no se pudo. Pues ni modo, no se pudo. Y déjalo, no, pues ya vámonos, ya no se pudo." And like that feels gacho, dude. You're all frustrated.
Yeah.
You're trying-
Challenge me.
boom.
I used to live at a house on Lupita and I believe was Second Street, right there, right next to Colonia Park. We used to live in a garage. Me, my mom, my brother, my dad, and then los que nos rentaban, they were mechanics, and his sons were in the military and this and that. But there was a guy. He was about 4 years older than me. He was always with his dad working in cars, and I remember I would look over the fence, and the dad would be hitting that from back of the head, full boom, like que así no, and then pásame esta herramienta, so
Yeah.
le daba la equivocada or the wrong size, y boom, putazo. Well, what happened was this would turn out to be a badass fucking mechanic, bro.
Yep.
He joined the army, and that's what he does.
Yeah, you know what?
Yes.
And that's a great example of, actually, I mean, some people might say, oh, that's rough, but nowadays, so today's standards, oh, that's borderline abuse. Oh my.
Yeah.
The they, them will probably right away come and try to take you
don't
away
say
from,
that.
try to take you away from your hefe, even though that's the proper way of raising your kid. Because I
Especially
remember,
boys, bro. Like you
Especially
gotta be
boys.
fucking.
I mean, ask any hyena, do you want your man to be a bitch? Or you want to this fool to be able to change your headlight?
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, this fool, you shake some fool's hands, they're softer than charming,
Oh,
homie.
that
Yeah.
happens.
You shake their hand, the homie hand, and
All fucking moist.
charmin.
All
That-
moist.
homie,
Bien
homie,
suavecitas.
homie, soft hands. Who's that? That's the homie soft hands.
Que
They're
pelo
like, no,
hands.
no sabe poner una pinche luz. Ask any hyena, she probably say, chales, I want my man que sea un pinche vato chingón, bring home the bread and, everything. Hey, in order to get that man, you got to have somebody, whether it's the biological jefe or it's a good stepdad or even a good mentor, somebody smacking you on the back of the head.
Nah, but
Hey, don't do that shit. Do it right.
for real though, like,
Dame las pericas, güey, no las perras.
for
Sí,
real,
sí,
What the
sí.
hell's the
for real
difference?
though, for real though, like in my opinion, you know, you went like next level, and I totally agree with you when you right now when you transcended the fucking
Yeah.
continuum.
You
Se
data
pasó
de verga.
Boom. But I'll agree with everything you said, everything 100% you said, because now it's like, fuck, dude, this is it right here, dude. This is like where everything we do, and having a family unit and maintaining the family unit is critical for their success. And nothing could, you could pay for all this stuff, you know, whatever.
Yes, yes.
If the parents are not present there, in particular
Exactly.
the father, porque el padre es that's la fortaleza de la familia,
Yep.
you know. Let's call it what it is, because we're supposed to be what, godlike in His image.
In this image,
That's
yeah.
why we're able to have kids, and then that's what puts us God tier, in my opinion, because we're not above God, but He's like letting us to experience how to it is to be like Him
we're
in His
godlike,
likeness.
you know, we're in this
Wow.
image. We have
Fucking
the
mind
ability
blown,
to
dog.
create and destroy. We created a child. You have the ability to either edify that kid or break him down.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes I know I ran into a lot of people in the neighborhood that because the jefe was, you know, not present or he was an abusive father,
Excuses. We talked about
they
it.
blame
We
the
talked
dad
about that
for everything.
with B. Like we look for excuses sometimes.
Yeah, and they'll blame the
that's
jefe.
not
Yeah.
acceptable.
The jefe, the jefa, or whatever. But at the end of the day, we have options, bro.
You need to you know, whenever like there's a union between man and woman, you know, that, you know, dude, I don't care, it needs to be like male dominated, you know, to be honest.
It has to
you
be.
have to be, you have to,
That's why we cannot have no girl president like here. Like what's her name? That was running for the U.S. president.
Hillary
Kamala Harris.
Clinton?
Or Hillary or Kamala. No,
Kamala.
fool.
Yeah.
The one in Mexico. What the fuck? You
Oh,
know?
Claudia,
Oh,
yeah,
Claudia,
Sheinbaum or
yeah.
whatever.
that's
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
esa mera.
I think it has to be men, bro.
Look at
When
just
it comes
saying.
to that, yeah.
look at
No,
But
it.
but
then-
it starts in a household, in my opinion. Like, you
Look
know,
at this is my view on that. We'll touch real quick because we have to. I guess now that you brought it up, there's a male leader of the family and there's a female leader in the
Of
family.
course.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
if you carry yourself as the proper male leader, you have nothing to fear. You're gonna know.
exactly.
But you also gotta have a gangster ass Jaina that if por alguna razón tú
She needs to
faltas,
have your back.
she has
Yes.
to run it.
Respaldo.
You
Respaldo.
know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
why, like, even right now with my boy,
Que saque la
You know-
bazooka, that way. Hey,
Hey,
I got you.
yup.
and I'll give you a good example in cinema. You know, with my boy, as he gets older, I have to, le tengo que inculcar que, hey, son, you know, búscate una que sea viva, que sea inteligente,
Yes, you don't
que
want a
tenga
pendeja.
carisma,
Yes, yes.
que no se nomás haciéndose las
Pinche
pinches uñas.
castrosa.
Que
y-
ponga la cabeza para abajo tampoco,
Yeah,
güey, you
no,
know,
una
that-
mujer con vergüenza, me decía mi jefa,
Yeah.
me decía mi jefa, cuando, my jefa always used to tell me like this, when you see her, okay, you want her to be beautiful, you want her to have some big boobs, you know, nice ass, you know, be fit and
Keep
so
going.
on, nice hair.
AB2799, kids.
But anyways, but she'll tell me, pero lo que más debería de importar, what type of mother is she gonna be? Do you feel like she's gonna be the mother that you need for your children? And when you find that one, ahí lánzate, ahí quédate, con esa mera. You know, beauty will.
pero
Güey,
también
beauty
hay-
¿qué?
Pero no nos regañes, güey, tampoco.
güey,
No,
pero-
well, homie, we're talking about this.
pero hay veces que de principio todo se mira bien. And you don't know what could happen in the future.
Well, that's why you
have
court
to
them.
discern. You have to be.
That's why you court them.
Do your due diligence,
mean,
my boy.
Court
If you're
them,
talking
take them
about females,
out.
you have to understand too. When they're pregnant for after pregnancy, they go through a lot of changes in their body and mentally, bro, hormones and all this. So
Yeah, that's just tough.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah. But yeah, dude, that's where you have to be. You have to be steadfast.
so
You
as
can't be-
a man too, we
you-
have to understand them.
as a man, you just cannot act with emotion. Dude.
Exactly.
You just,
Yeah, we have to be meek.
Yes.
We have to be very meek, and that's why you say sometimes that a male is a better leader. I'm gonna agree with you because
Well, we're not taking nothing from women. No,
No, I love
me a good-
Yeah.
hey,
There's a lot of them that are leaders.
I
but
love me a good woman leader, but she just has to be, she has to stand firm. And let me give you the example that I saw in the movie. Obviously, this is fictional, but it creates a good narrative for what I'm trying to point out. You ever seen that movie Traffic? It's one of those interlacing storylines that are all different, and in the end, they all interlace. You know, in that movie, I remember the drug dealer guy is this handsome in suits, living in mansions. He was stealing drugs. Cae el vato. The wife in that movie, Catherine
Zeta-Jones.
she didn't know that fool was doing that. But here she is pregnant. Her vato's going to jail for a long time for drug trafficking.
Damn.
And she didn't even know this was going on. So she takes over the business, gets the lawyer, does what she got to do. She's got to cut the deal with the cartels. And the storyline, I mean, whoever made the storyline did it very well because she didn't know, but it was either swim or sink.
Yeah.
Swim or sink. What do you do
She
now?
decided to swim.
Her vato's gone. She's
Yeah.
pregnant. She's got to cut the deals. These people are threatening her because where's our money? Where's our money? You know, she has to talk to the lawyer and say, hey, well, the money's here. We don't want to tell you because, you know, we disrupt the family. Okay, well, tell me what's going on. Oh, well, these ones want to cut. They want their money. They want to cut a new deal. Then she follows through with the plans, gets her husband out. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, and I'm not saying do illegal stuff. Pero if, you know, if the poop hits the fan and us as the male, we faltamos, where jail, death, whatever,
she
injury,
can hold it down.
you know, that woman's going to come out and hold it
hold it
down,
down, hold it
versus
down.
the hyena is going to fall apart. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Next thing you know, she's over there dancing at BJ's right there on the
This
side of the
woman-
freeway.
Fucking PJs were shaking ass.
Oh,
PJs.
fuck. No, please.
I don't know,
no.
dog, you know.
No, absolutely not.
And that right there, that's not ideal, my boy.
No,
That's not ideal. No disrespect to the women that do that. Pero to each their own. I'm not picking one of them. I don't know. I don't know if you later ever danced at PJs or whatever it's called.
From
But
my,
I
from
fucking
my,
rhino
from my,
pages.
from my
I know
records,
she didn't.
no. From
All
my
right.
record, I did a records
Check.
request.
You see?
Is that a
Check.
background check, loco?
Little background check. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that, hey, and those are the type of things that we need to show our children. I mean, obviously,
Right.
you have a daughter,
I do.
and it has to change. You know, it's different.
Hey, dog,
And I
you know
respect
what?
that.
And fatherhood is like, okay, you know how you say, oh, you did this whole fucking, your monologue was about, you know, us elevating, you know, and then our responsibility. So now, whenever I see my little cria, I'm like, damn, you know, this is on me.
You
Came
know,
from my balls, eh?
Loco, me, I have two kids. I have a daughter and a son, and it's different, dog.
Blessed.
The way you treat them, it's very different. You can't treat your daughter the way you treat your son,
Absolutely
vice versa.
not.
It's
Absolutely
a
not.
whole different ball game.
Yes, I agree.
You're a girl dad.
Yeah, I'm a
Don't
girl
say
dad.
that. I hate it when people say that.
You know
shit,
where that
dude.
came from? That came from Kobe.
I know it did.
Kobe?
You know, when Kobe, you
Yes,
know, rest
sir,
in peace
we
to
know,
Kobe and
we
his
know.
little La Mambita.
Yeah.
When he passed away, I remember that was the first time I ever heard that word, a girl dad.
Yeah, that's just cringe as
I'm
hell.
a boy dad.
And then that's
That's
probably
cringe.
because he was supporting his daughters, and
Yeah,
when,
he had
it's,
two
when
daughters.
it's not a normal thing, I guess, to push your daughters, maybe.
What?
No,
Get
I
outta
mean,
here.
no,
Our normal
society.
and not in our and dude, how could I not?
no, you're supposed
hey,
to.
This is crazy.
I don't have a daughter, but if I ever did, she's gonna learn. She don't know how to
She
shoot
gonna learn.
guns.
She gonna learn.
She
She gonna learn.
She's gonna know how to do
These are those
jiu-jitsu.
little mañitas que hizo
You know,
ahorita.
she's
She gonna learn.
She gonna learn. Just like my boy right now, he's learning. And you know, we go back to what I has talked about, the deficiencies in our father's fatherhood versus ours. You know, what my dad did for me, there was a few empty spots there. Now I have the ability to fill
Now
those
there's
voids.
iPads and shit. So
Yeah,
you
I
know what
mean-
I'm saying?
I mean, either way,
Nah,
you know,
well,
you're-
look, I'm just looking.
No,
You wanna
guys are
learn
saying
something to
this.
do?
We
Get on YouTube.
We do learn from them, but I don't know. For me, it's a little different because everything I do, how I move, I didn't learn from them, dog. It's
from
just
your parents.
I just something I
Well,
developed
you know,
on my own.
Sometimes
Yeah, a little bit, a
we're
little bit.
hungry. We go eat on our
Yeah,
own.
yeah. I just developed this,
The
bro,
lone
and
wolf.
yeah, and that's. I mean, they gave me life. They gave me whatever they could, but they never like gave me like advice on what to do with life or none of that.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just I
yeah.
was just there, bro.
Survival mode.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
look at how good you did without that.
yeah,
Imagine how good your son's gonna do with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And that's
You know
where the
what?
change is.
You know what?
That's where the change is. Ahí está, como dice, y ahí está el detalle.
Hey, bro,
Ahí está, ahí está.
look, I look at my
Ahí
son
está.
now, and I'm like, this was a lot like me, dog. I'm like,
Pues sí,
but
güey.
look, but I said, me, I didn't have someone like me. He has me.
Yeah, and then you're fucking solid.
Yeah,
so
fool,
fucking lucky little
Yeah.
fool.
Hey, we're not,
Fucking
we're not,
lucky.
we're not raising no weak ass fools.
Yeah, nah,
Fuck that.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
none
no
of
weak
our
ass
none
fools.
of our offspring are gonna be the weak fools of the week.
Chale, dude, I'm gonna fucking do whatever I can. But
You
you know
know?
what? You know what that starts? Like, you know, I know we say this, but like the little things, dude, just being present. I know I talked about being present.
That alone.
And then, but present doesn't mean like, oh, just hanging out there, you know, and you know, being on
No,
going through your phone,
feedback is
putting the
appreciated.
TV on, but like, you know, engaging with them, stimulating them, exposing them to things, and then you know, elevating her expectation, because whatever way my relationship with the person, with you know, with her mom is gonna do the building blocks for what she expects from a man. when she grows up. And that's what my responsibility as a
But it
father.
comes to yes, of
My
course.
responsibility and of a girl, I see her, I'm like, man, I don't want her to, I want the best for her, so it's like, damn, that shit weighs heavy. So like fatherhood, outside of the selfish stuff is which is of her telling me cute little things and
But you
give me
have
a
to
little
be
hug.
very open with them too, even though they're females. You have to be. You as
Yeah,
a
I'm
dad,
gonna
you have to be
I
very
already
open.
know. I already know at some point it's gonna be like other stages, and then with
And then
both.
I think the best thing we could do, at least in my opinion, the way I move with my son, it's like a friendship, dog. I treat him like he's my son. I talk to him. He knows when to shut up, and all that. Like he knows the limits. But we talk like friends. Well, I don't know. I'm not over here with the cinto en la mano. Cállese, do this now. We talk. So he could tell me whatever. I tell him stuff. But we're like friends, bro. Like I don't move like the old señores, like, oh, this and that, que cállate, güey, que this and that. No, I listen to him. I let him speak up because I have to hear them. It's like I think we should all do that.
Yeah, I agree with that one,
That's
dude.
good. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I do take some from the old school
No, of
and
course,
I
yeah.
mold it to my own,
Yes, yes,
because like I told you earlier, you fill in the voids
yes,
that you
yes.
saw in your father. Like for example, my dad never took me to karate, never took me to baseball, to do sports. But with my son, I'm doing those
Ya,
activities with
pero
him.
también fíjate, él tenía que trabajar. Es muy
Yeah, that's
diferente.
true.
Tú,
Yeah.
now you figured out a way to play with your time, right?
Yup.
To have
Yeah,
free
that's
time.
true. That's true.
So we can't blame them for that.
Which may I add, comes from my brother, my father's teachings. Like, hey, you can't just be getting chips from one place.
Yeah,
And that's
fuck
what
that.
and that's exactly what my father told me. Like, hey, if you got all your chips in one basket, you're gonna be in that basket and only that basket. He taught me how to get chips from
You have
different
to wait till they
places.
fill it up again so you
You
could
know,
eat, right?
Yeah.
Diversify your bonds, nigga.
Yeah,
Like, what else?
diversify
Remember,
your
I
portfolio.
said the word. Damn it.
It's all good. I'm considered
That was
one of
from
them.
Chappelle show.
We have a comment from D Money 821. We need more fantasy football talk.
Oh, fantasy football.
Are you guys into that?
When you're the champ, when you become the champ, come and get back at us. But for
Nah,
the
dude.
moment, until you win that belt, stay in your place.
This guy's the expert of that.
Yeah, fantasy football.
First year league winner.
Okay.
So, anyways, but yeah, and that's what it is. That passive income. That word was introduced to me by my father. Most of our people won't even know what that means.
Yes,
Passive income. They'll be
yes.
like, what are you talking about? Hey, but thanks to my father, I was able to understand what that word is. And guess what? Now my son will understand itself. He will understand that word himself. And more
It's
power
gonna be
to
from early.
more power
earlier,
to generations
earlier
to
on,
come.
Earlier on.
And that's some stuff you don't learn in school. And that's
Don't.
some stuff that
You
you learn
don't.
at home. And that changes
I
generations.
just think everybody's built different, dog, and you
True.
develop over time. And at a certain age, you know what you want to do with your life.
But look at our parents, dude. Our parents were from
It don't ma-
Max,
it don't
dude.
matter
They were
what
in
they teach
fucking
you.
survival mode, dog.
That is true.
Yeah.
New
They were
country.
like,
Yes, yes.
Well, my parents, your parents,
They were in
new
fucking
country,
survival mode,
New
dude.
language,
new
know,
country.
new-
Who it is?
So it's like I get it.
New country. Who it is?
So that's the way I see it. My jefe was going on. He was fucking cutting apio and shit, and then fucking working on
Esa
cars.
es una chinga, güey, the apio.
Yeah, dude, he did it for over 2
Yeah,
decades.
my jefe was
2
a Piero
decades?
too.
Over 2 decades,
Oh,
like a
that
quarter of a
was big.
century.
Por eso tiene las manos así de cocodrilo, huh?
Yeah,
güey?
yeah.
Sí.
I used to tell him when I was little. He
Big
was
old hands de
Yeah.
hombre, way.
It's like that fool could probably undo a fucking nut or something from the carpet with his hands, fool, un
Yeah,
tornillo, güey.
back in the days. I remember he told me that when I was little that I was like touching his hands and I'm like telling him, oh, they look like peanuts.
Cacahuates.
He remembers that shit, Fucking
Hey,
shit.
that's what it is, dog, homie. Hey, get your hands dirty, dog.
You
Get
have
your
to.
hands dirty. Don't be homie,
Dude.
the homie cha cha charming, way. Con pinches manitas otra vez. Ñam, 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 ñam.
And
Ñam, 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 ñam.
the other day,
Hey, but you can't live a life of getting your hands dirty tampoco.
Hey, it's
You
fun.
become a
To
business
me,
owner,
to
like
me,
you-
it's
like
kind of fun
yourself.
to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, yeah, but
It's
at
always
some point,
your
some-
hands dirty.
Hands.
but at some point, if you want to grow, you're gonna have to stop working.
You know-
loco.
you know-
that's just what it is.
That's true.
It's gotta be a hustle, dog. It can't be just fucking
But then-
manual labor. It gotta be
But then
calculated
again,
money.
we can expect people to do something we can't do ourselves.
And
That's
to
a
each-
leader, dog.
To each their own abilities, dude. También,
Eso
There's
sí.
some people who are mouth breathers, dog. You can't get them to fucking figure shit out.
Mouth
Aunque
breathers.
le des la respuesta, ¿se da, güey?
Mouth breathers.
¿Qué
Hey,
pasó?
You can give them the answers for it, and they still
Nah.
want.
Serio, serio.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's people who are like that. Dude.
you know, another place where I got a glimpse of a different type of fatherhood, where I personally got a different type, a look at fatherhood was on the field, like at the baseball field. When I volunteered to be a coach last spring season for the Eastside Little League, I remember I was just going to just help out my son and be right there. But once you got on that field and you saw how many children are, lacking some type of alpha male figure at home,
That sucks, dude.
and you feel like, oh man, and you start treating them like your own kid.
Because they're
And
seeking that, dude.
and then
Kids-
themselves they respond well to that because they
kids-
want that too.
Kids, little boys, dude, when they're little, and even little girls, if they don't have a dad in the mix, dude, they're seeking that, dude. That's why they
need
seek
that.
it in the street and shit. When we were kids, belonging felt good, but having respect
Felt
that feels
even better.
Nah, but real talk though, when we were kids, we were looking for that, like you're talking about, and then we were just trying to fake fill that void. When it's the man's job who has a family, you fucking are the void.
Yeah.
You're. That's what I'm saying. That's not to say that women don't have any role in the family, but they know it. They want a fucking Chad, a fucking some fool's gonna handle business. No mamadas, way.
Hey,
La
dog,
neta,
just like
güey.
I said earlier, what Jaina wants
La
about
pura
is a
pinche
weak ass
neta.
fool.
No bitch wants that. I mean, no female wants
They
that.
don't want that. And being out in that field, what do we need a lot more of? In, for example, again, the Eastside Little League, obviously kids,
Damn, dude, that shit keeps
but
coming
even,
back.
obviously kids. But it's because I'm living an experience to that.
I'm
right
just
now.
fucking around.
Sometimes I have to
Let me
reflect on that.
exaggerate. Let me exaggerate.
They need coaches with
No, and then
charisma.
because we had
Coaches
this talk,
con val-
there's a
voz
lot of
mando.
single moms. That's why, bro. That's why.
And
Hey,
it's
that's the
crazy.
elephant in the room.
And you know what, Chip, on this? When we were at the opening ceremony this past Saturday, there's this señor, Don Rafael, that I see every morning when I walk to the park, about 7:50 a.m. I go for a quick walk before I get to work. And I run to him often. He's always listening to the Bible on tape. And I remember the first time I talked to him, he told me that he played at that league when it was inaugurated, 1958.
Oh shit.
And then he was around the park the whole day on Saturday. And I remember at the very end, he spoke to me one more time and he told me something that, it just stayed in my head the whole weekend. And I was thinking, fuck, man, this fool knows what he's talking about. Obviously, because he's an OG, triple OG.
Yeah.
He was there 1958.
So what did he tell you, dude?
He was telling me that he played before there was a league there. He played for the Boys and Girls Club on 7th Street. And then when they built the field there, then he moved over there. He told me that as I was speaking to him towards the end of the last game they had on that field, he was telling me that, and I'll paraphrase this, that we needed más coaches chingones porque muchas de las mujeres que están
Vale.
aquí no tienen su vato. Me dijo like that in Spanish. And I was like, fuck this. So this is
Es cierto.
That's
this is-
fucking
look at- let me
sad,
tell you,
dude. That shit makes me sad.
generational. The lack of the male figure in the
That
family
shit fucking
has
sucks,
been
dog.
generational. Something in
shit's
our
crippling.
neighborhood,
That
which
shit's
sucks. I
crippling.
mean, and I'm not talking shit about whatever happened.
Hey,
I
hey,
love the kids, dog. Especially since I
Hey,
became a
call-
coach, I have a heart for every single one of them,
call it what it is,
regardless
dude.
of whatever the beef is with the parents, with the board, with anybody else. Eso está aparte, güey. Un niño, una niña, se le todo el respeto del mundo y se le ama, güey, como si fuera
Times
el
two,
tuyo.
homie.
Times two. Let's go. Let's get
Times
that.
two.
Times
Está
two. And he
cabrón, güey.
pointed that out to me and he said, that we needed más coaches que sí le importan, güey, que they're not just there to to be there for Instagram or tienes que llegar con una pinche pasión para enseñarle a estos niños. And every time I hit that field, the first thing I showed up with was with a plan and with passion, and I put it into work, dog. And
That's
a
right.
lot of parents would tell me, "Hey, we want you to be our coach for our kid." I'm sorry, it's out of my hands. I can't do it. Obviously,
But
this
I-
season I'm
You
not a
know
coach.
what? I don't think you could be a
But-
coach if you're not a dad.
You got to be a dad to 10 kids. You could be dad to your boy, and then you become a coach. You got to be a dad to
Or
freaking 17
or
kids.
can you be a good coach without even being a dad or having experience with
I don't
Well-
know that.
And you-
I don't know.
well-
that.
Yeah, it's kinda hard, right?
I
It's
don't
a
know.
little-
I
Well,
don't
you know
know.
what? I'll tell you something with my son. Like my son would come, Dad, I want to be first in everything. I said, son, I cannot do that. I have to be fair to everybody, and not because you're my son, I'm gonna show you favoritism. Because if I do, then I'm defeating the whole purpose of this. I can't just put you first. Obviously, if there's somebody more skillful than my son, and bases loaded, whatever, make up whatever scenario where we need we need el pinche toro way to hit that ball. you're gonna bring that boy in.
Yeah.
You know, and every time I would build my when I was doing the T-ball, I would build my batting lineup, and I know, okay, I'm gonna get these three kids on base, and then I'm gonna bring the slugger. And then I'm gonna get three kids on base, and I'm gonna bring the slugger. You know, and you build up the children like this. And there was no favoritism towards my own son because I can't play like that. I gotta treat everybody the same because when these parents pay the registration fee, they want someone to teach their
Nobody
someone to
likes
teach.
nepotism. Nobody
Yeah,
likes nepotism.
yeah, nepotism, and you know we've spoken
Nobody
about
likes
this,
that.
especially what we're dealing with right now. That these parents pay the registration fee, and they want someone to show up early, be the first on the field, last one to leave, and show the kids at least to the best of my ability how to play the game.
Okay, but do you think that comes with the way you were raised,
Yes, it
the
does, one
parents,
hundred
right?
percent, 100%. If you're gonna, si vas a hacer algo, lo vas a hacer bien, me decía mi papá. No, 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 no llegues y nomás, ay,
Yeah,
sabes
so
que
fatherhood is
I don't
very
feel
important
good
in
today.
everybody's life.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah. I come from a good father, and I'm not perfect.
None of us
But if I
are.
show up somewhere, I'm gonna grab the fucking broom and start helping. I'm not gonna show up right there on Instagram for 50 minutes while some other fool sweeping over here.
You know what?
Chales.
You know how you're talking about because you're able to
My
treat.
dad will kick my ass if I would do that. Pinche vato pendejo. Nope, nope.
Sí, pero
That's not
uno,
me, dog.
pero no, nosotros crecimos así, pendejeándonos y todo. So también we can't expect other people to be like us because we all grew up different.
Everybody,
Like for us,
That's
maybe
true.
when you grow up in the hood, most likely you do grow up tough, hard time in it. But when you deal with people that grew up in a different lifestyle, you can expect them to have that same mentality as you, or to
Yeah.
be able to take the pressure you could deal with.
And that's probably why I told you that I can't get along with lazy people.
Yeah.
It's like you want to smack
You're
them.
not wrong for
Just
it.
like
Is
your
that
head.
what-
And you know
Look,
what?
look, but here's the thing: you're not wrong for it. But then again, you have to be able to understand
To each
that
their own.
to each their own, and you have to be able to calm down because you're not gonna change
can't
that
be
person.
emotional, dude.
Exactly, you
You
can't
can't
make
change
that
the
person
world.
That's true.
change. So even though you're like that, you can expect them to be like you, bro.
They're not gonna catch up. dude.
Yeah.
And you don't want your son to one day say, "Oh, my dad was like super hard, never showed me love." No, and that's we go back to what I told you. Right now, you see what you take what your jefe taught you, and then you put your take on that, and then you try to make a better
Or
child.
or take whatever was done and omit the things
The bad
To
stuff.
just absorb the good things that could be useful, right? And
yeah,
then pass
because
it on.
there's a lot of good things that I learned from both of my parents, my dad in particular, and then there's a lot of things I see. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, and then I just pay attention, and I'm very conscious because children are paying attention. So you as a father, to a certain degree, you gotta put on a show. I'm gonna do that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, let me go build
that's
something,
the
and let me make sure that mommy's happy, and that you got all the things that make her, like she says, nice and cozy.
yeah. And we're talking about fatherhood, but let me ask something about my jefa. I mean, because motherhood also added to me and my fatherhood. My jefa, she's the type. I tell people this. She's the type of woman that won the Mexican Revolution. I see her and I see a Soldadera. I see a Nadela. I see a Valentina. All these women, because I'm a big fan of the Mexican Revolution. I study that through and through. I love that timepiece in history. The whole thing of how Mexico was shaped because of that Revolutionary War. Because a lot of people think it was one day. No, it was like
Nah,
it was like a 12-year process for Mexico to revolutionize itself and become the country that we. I mean,
Yeah, just to
obviously we
abolish
see now,
Porfiriato,
but
right?
but you read about the women that were involved during that war, and they would carry
They
the
were tough.
bullets.
They were
They,
tough.
they would get on the trains and travel with the
They'll
men.
get smashed on.
Yeah, and
have
my
kids.
jefa is that type of woman. She's ready to go to war,
Este
dog.
güey.
My jefa at any moment I could tell my mom, hey, I'm going through some shit. She'll fucking get the strap, like what I mean. Let's go get
Nah,
this.
dude, they were out there.
Pero
Cause they were out there like having kids and fucking
Loading the machine
Pero
guns.
regresamos a lo
feeding them.
mismo. We can't expect everybody to be the same, fool,
You
because
can't.
todos
This was
somos
getting mad. Look at
diferentes.
him.
Yeah.
He's getting mad
You
at
I'm
could
us.
not
no,
getting
that is because you
mad.
can never
Nah,
expect
but I'm
people to
I'm
be
just
I'm not
fucking-
getting
to be
mad,
like you or
dog.
think like you. We have to understand that
It's just that I'm very
everybody
passionate.
are different.
I'm very passionate.
Yes,
Yeah.
but look, I think as a leader, you're supposed to understand everybody, bro. You're supposed to be able to handle everybody
Everybody,
different.
everybody has an ability, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're not gonna talk to your ace the same way you talk to one of the the chalanes, the changos, nah, not talking, not talking shit. But you know what I'm saying? though? You know what I'm saying?
I
though?
know. I know. what you
But
mean.
treat everybody the same. But you gotta know that you can't if you're in that role, you're not gonna make the fool that does not supposed to do something do something that they don't know how to do.
Well, yeah,
Spencer.
100%. You raise your,
So
you raise, you're trying to raise your offspring to be a
yeah,
leader,
yeah, but
to raise a
también
leader,
we have to
Yeah.
understand,
not a follower,
but
but
we
an
have to
actual leader.
understand that
Yeah.
what happens if our kids don't want to be what we want them to be.
Well, you got
See, ¿me entiendes? So we can't press it on them either. That's why. That's when we have to be able to understand people that everybody's different, dog. Everybody has different beliefs. Everybody has different goals. Some could take pressure, some can't.
well,
That's just what it is.
you know,
So you, as a leader of your kid, you have to be able to understand that.
Yep.
I mean, I
Yep.
tell this people, I tell this to people, you got to lead by example, right? And your child is watching what you're doing, especially right
But
now,
but
because
that does,
we have children right around the same age. You know, your
yeah,
boy,
but
my
that
boy are
doesn't
about
mean
the same
they're
age.
gonna be just like us, man.
They'll be similar.
Maybe, maybe not.
And I can guarantee you that, because if you're telling me that your son has some characteristics like yourself,
Yeah,
I could tell you mine has a lot of
pero en el
characteristics
futuro
that
that
reflect
that could
me.
change in the future, and we have to be ready for that.
Well, you just got to be there for them. So, because don't tell me, I mean, not on disrespect, but what if your son decides to go down a bad road? You're not going to pull him back,
No, yeah,
or do
yeah.
the best you
Yeah.
can to draw him back. And hey, wait, hold up, son.
Sí.
Hold on, let's talk about this. You know, let me show you what happens if you go down this road.
Going back to being present, because
Yeah,
what
it
he's
comes with
saying,
that.
what he's saying is that he's not gonna let the foot off the gas with him. That way, he's probably gonna be too tied up being the little archetype.
Yeah,
of
yeah, but
him.
when you have them too tied up, fool, whenever they get that little fucking space, boom, se van, güey.
That's true.
So
But in
that's
the,
why I say I try to keep a friendship with my son instead of being like this mandon. Why?
Yeah.
So there's balance there, fool.
Yeah.
and
We
let
could
me
talk about
and
everything.
let me tell you something, how to kind of deal with that, because a lot of the stuff that I speak about, I either experienced it or I read about it. If you don't know about something, you can always seek that information. And if once you learn that information and you enlighten yourself, then you can put it in practice. You know, like in the Bible, it says, raise them in the ways and they will not depart from them. That's Proverbs, and that's real shit.
Maybe and
That is
maybe
real
not,
stuff.
fool. I think it's
And
like
you
a
will.
50-50.
I believe in it with all my heart.
Because
So,
look, there's
it's up to
people.
one's
I'm gonna
beliefs.
tell you why. Because me growing up, and I'm gonna go back to the hood. Shit. There's people that grew up in the other side of Del Sol, and we grew up in the right side. They were in the right side, we were on the left side, right? Depending from the new houses in acá.
Yeah.
Those who still decided to come over here.
Yeah.
And
And
they
it was
were-
appealing to them.
Yeah, so what? So that's not true then.
Well,
Everybody makes a choice, dog. Because at that, we had a fucking Camino del Sol that divided two different worlds, and they decided to come over here. They didn't have the needs we had.
that is true. I met
Right?
people but I also have the opposite, which is they grew up in the hood amongst all this madness, and they still became something productive
No,
to
yes, yeah,
society.
it could go both ways. Yeah,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You can only take them so far as a parent, right?
yes,
And then they're gonna make their own choices.
yes.
But look at he's
But
talking.
presence matters.
Yeah. But I think what you're talking about is inculcarle eso, because we're teaching them stuff. Monkey see, monkey do, everything, all that good stuff. So the foundation's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right now, and more than anything, right now, when they're these little sponges,
yeah.
because I don't know if this ever happened to you, but you're speaking a certain way. Next thing you know, your son's saying, he repeats what you just said, and you're
Yeah,
like, what the
dude.
heck?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
weren't
no,
paying
yeah, they
attention.
do,
And
they
then
do,
you're
they
like,
do.
hey, wait, hold up, son. And then you have to tell him, I'm sorry, son, but you can't be saying that.
Yeah. Well,
And then he in
you
his mind
think?
is like, okay, but you can and I can't. And see, and that's where you have to be very careful with what you say and what you do around them, because they're gonna soak it up, and they're gonna probably, they're gonna repeat it. And
Every time
they
dude,
might say it in
never
front of the
fails.
wrong people, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my
It never
gosh,
fails, dude.
who's raising this kid?" And then you're like, "Oh,
Yeah, I got you.
damn.
Yeah, I gotta watch.
We're gonna
things you
make
say.
mistakes. We're not perfect, but we can be better.
Yes.
We can be better every day. We can be better."
Because I was
Like it-
evolving to something better.
Going
Yeah.
back to us, elevating the how we're raising our children. I remember when I was a kid, dude, the shit, when I lived in the projects, I would walk over and first off, what am I doing at this time of the night in the streets? Like, you think I'm gonna leave my child? And I'm like, he's out there somewhere, and I'm over here walking
We're
around,
walking home from Gumby's house
dude.
So in the morning
but I'm talking about like
with a gun.
dude, that's
I
just
know what you
crazy,
mean.
dude. So I was walking, and you'd see like crimes and assaults and all this, dude. Like it was a crazy place,
Have
dude.
to dodge bullets.
When
And
el
stuff
estadio
like
estaba
that.
abierto, when the stadium was open,
Hell yeah.
people
fuck
they
that
used to go.
shit.
They used to go in there in Parque Las Palmas. Remember on the little hills on the side of Parque Las
Yep,
Palmas?
yep.
They used to post up right there between the school and all that.
I know what you're talking about.
And then I'm like, I will not. I will do everything, and I know I always say this. I will do everything possible for her not even need or want to experience that.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
And then so that's where that's where one of the things I really look at, because some of the, like, and I get my parents going back, they're in survival mode. Their definition of what a father
It's
should
different.
be
It's different.
way
than,
different, dog.
And I remember, you know what?
Way
Now that you say that, I remember a bar from a Jay-Z song where he says, "Hope did that so you wouldn't have to go through that." And it's the same thing with my son.
Yes,
Your
yes.
papa did this so I could gain the experience and know that I don't want you to do that. I mean, being in the car with four maniacs, with
Yeah.
weapons,
Yeah.
going somewhere else to try to,
For no reason.
no, you're like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't, like,
Stupid.
son,
No, yeah.
no, son,
Stupid.
no, son, that is not the way. That is not the way. I want you to be at home, relaxing, and then, like I said, you
Yeah.
lead by example.
Yeah, and it feels better, dude. Like,
And it feels better. You're
the
at
work-
peace. And what's the classic line that maybe some of our parents would say when we would show up at 2 in the morning? Ahorita porque no tienes hijos, cabrón, pero espérate que
tengas,
tengas el
¿verdad?
tuyo.
Ya vas a saber.
And then you're like, damn, cuando estén 15 y 16, no llega aquel cabrón, no llega.
Yeah,
¿Dónde
that's
está?
gacho.
Where'd I reach him? Where's the
That's
phone? And no answer. And you're dying inside. And we
Yes.
probably, I don't know if
Yeah.
you did that to your parents. I don't know if you did that
Yeah.
to your
Sure, yeah,
parents.
of course.
A
But
mí
I
no,
did it to
a
my
mí no
head.
me dejaban salir, me brincaba por la ventana, güey, no llegaba 2 days later. Why? I
Man.
used to think of it like this, fool. I'm still gonna get fucked up, so I'm gonna make it worth it. Though.
Yeah, that's the
Fuck.
You know,
thought.
that's how I used to think.
That
And
was the
and
train of
for
thought
mierda.
at the
now, I
time.
think it's fucking
Pura
stupid. Dog.
pinche mierda
Sí,
tenías
güey.
en la maceta.
Sí, güey.
And
What a
now-
dick,
And
dude.
you know what's the worst thing, fool? That I used to jump from the second story, fool.
Estás bien mal.
No,
dude,
when I used to
güey.
live on C Street, you guys
Yo creo
know.
que quedaste mal,
Y
güey.
me
con una
brincaba
caída.
the
del-
liquor store.
Yeah, güey, me brincaba de arriba.
Yo creo que quedó mal, güey. Una mala
Bueno,
caída.
I would get home, my dad would fuck me up. Me bañaba, me metía a mi cuarto, lock the door, get dressed. I used to jump out the window y pum pa abajo.
Yeah, that was cool living up there, huh?
Yeah.
You get to see stuff
Yeah,
right
the
there?
parade, fool.
The parade.
That
Boom.
was perfect.
Fuck yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
being down there and waving at you. Hey.
Oh, hey, he's right there. Oh.
I remember that was bad. I want to live that right now. Go downstairs, get a pistol.
Right?
Get a mineral water better.
Dude. Visto mejor. Una
Hey,
playa.
dog, pero, perdóname, ma. Discúlpame. No sabía
¿Qué?
qué estaba haciendo.
You know?
Pero, pero anyways,
No me
Este-
pegues, pero la regamos, ¿verdad?
pero, whatever. But you know what? Happy birthday to my boy.
Yeah, happy
St.
birthday.
Patrick's Day.
Hey,
My boy, it's crazy. My favorite color is yellow. My wife's favorite color is blue. Mix them together. What we get? We get green.
That's
My
dope.
son was born on
That's
St.
dope.
Patrick's Day. Shout out to my son. I love you, Diego. Your papa.
Feliz
happy
cumpleaños,
birthday
Diego.
to Diego.
Happy
I'll
birthday.
say this.
Diego.
Most people say I'll die for my kid. I do the opposite. I'll live for him to the fullest.
Damn,
yeah.
And
bro.
I'm trying to make him the best man he
Poeta.
can. So the day he dates your daughter, not you personally, but any hyenas out
He
there
could be a
listening to
good
this,
man.
if he ever dates one of your daughters, trust me, your daughter's gonna be
That's
in
all
good
you
hands.
want, dude. That's all you
Your
want.
daughter will be in good hands, and
Uphold.
you're gonna have what would I be? A
A
consuegro?
suegro.
Consuegro?
Oh, consuegro, yeah, something like that.
Consuegro, we could party together then. But until then,
Damn.
until then, what you got to say about fatherhood before we leave?
Man, fatherhood, that's God given. That's true fulfillment in life. Do it right or get the fuck out of sight.
What about you, Kaiman? What you got to say about fatherhood before we roll it up?
I love it.
You love it? I love it.
I love it.
What I got to say
Gracias.
is this: raise them in the Lord's ways and they will not depart. That's Proverbs.
Good evening, locos.
Good
Good
evening
evening and good luck. Big brocha. Adios.
Gracias.